Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Virtual Sim League's Season 11, Round 12. Well, technically it's Round 11 because we didn't get going, we didn't get finished last week due to some sort of PSN issue, which is kind of a bit frustrating, but we are back for the second round of the America's Cup and the first last round of the penultimate championship in the Miami International Autodrome, which is a temporary circuit built around the Hard Rock Stadium and near Florida. The first round that it was hosted in real life was in 2022, and it was back in 2023. And the drivers will be racing there tonight. And under normal conditions, normal 50% race, I need to turn the sound down, which I will do. So I will do that right now. There we go, that's better. So here is Glock at the moment, our overall championship leader. You're going to be passing in into around about turn 4 and 5. Heavy braking zone, a very slow right-hander coming up as well. And then heading in towards 8 and 9. Another hard braking zone again. And this is going to be the DRS zone coming up, where you've got to really put pedal to the metal here. You put all the power in through this corner. I need to put the map somewhere else because otherwise I'm not going to see it. So just give me a second. But this part of the track is going to pretty much reminiscent of the Vietnam track as well, with the way that it's shaped. Obviously we don't race in Vietnam anymore in the FAR 5.14 412 kilometer circuit, as all, he almost hit the wall there, but you passed the crest, and the crest is obviously one of the most difficult parts of the circuit. And this is the final DRS straight coming up now. The fastest lap time at the moment is 1:27, but we'll see if Glock can beat that as he exits the penultimate corner, heading towards the final corner now of turn 19, keeping the foot on the throttle with ERS up to the line, and it's only P4. I wonder, without that trip to the barrier, if he would have had less issues there. But we still got more drivers on a lap, I believe. Let me just see. I'm just seeing who's on a lap now, and I need to get tyres up. There we go. So we got people that will probably go again, and there's people trying to save some lap times as well. Cam was on a lap, but no, he's not. He's still in the pits, but he just set a 1:27.876. But pole time is set by his teammate Yarham. Cam is a reserve tonight, by the way. And this track has 19 corners, 3 straights. It has lots of flyovers, a bit of uneven ground as well around this circuit. And there's a lot of change of direction as well through the undulations of turn 13, 14 and 15 before turn 16. And as you can see, people are finding it a bit difficult than imagined. And it's a heavy braking zone coming up in turn 17, which is not quite yet because you're past, obviously, the crest that I was just talking about a moment ago. So we're riding on board with Pete then as he finishes his lap time. He's going to enable the DRS once again. Now, the question is, what type of setup would you run? Well, it does require a bit of downforce, but you can get away with running a lower downforce setup compared to some other tracks on this game. There's a few high-speed corners coming up as well, which the drivers need to be aware of. So, speed 19 up to the line, and it's going to be P8 for him. So, anyone else on laps? No, not at the moment. I think most people are on out laps as well. And this surge of popularity in the US has been really popular in recent years, mainly due to Drive to Survive, the Netflix series, and obviously the United States Grand Prix back in 2012 at the Circuit of the Americas. It attracted a record-breaking 440,000 in 2022, so it is popular in the States. It has 3 USA races, but obviously 4 in the North America and Canada region, because the Canada is not at COTA, as a few people are just getting their tyres up to temperature. Now let's watch Facecam, who's pretty much got to redeem himself, by the way. This track took around about 12 months to make, involved using £14 million of steel and aluminium, 1.3 million bolts, 24,000 tonnes of asphalt, 1,130 tonnes of concrete, and lots of other materials. So, and uses a few, crosses some public roads, but all of you can see the bridge there, probably reminiscent of the highway potentially as well. So, let's see what he can do. You do burn a lot of ERS here, so you've got to find ways to save them throughout the lap, because there's some people that can derate towards the final corner, which again is not ideal, as I'm pausing the stream so I don't hear myself, but can set a time of a 1:27.191, which puts him on 2 pole position. So good lap time from him as he exits turn 1 and into turn number 2. Anyone else on that time? Finlay in the Ferrari. Now, there was an introduction. So you can hear my phone, by the way. I'm just getting all my lovely notes together. Just give me a second. Give me a second. You can see the Ferrari has a bit more of a paint, like more of a red style to it as well, and a few other touches of detail in other cars too. So something to keep an eye on. Obviously, it doesn't make a difference in performance because it is equal performance at the end of the day. There's been some argument on X or Twitter whether from F1 esports drivers whether they think it's still equal. To be honest, for me, there's not much of a noticeable difference really, but people may beg to differ on my opinion. So Finlay comes up to the line in P2. Now we'll go through standings in a little bit of the break that we have, but just I would like to point out a few drivers that are here tonight that are looking to redeem themselves after a few weeks ago. Obviously, round 11 got cancelled. And we got Glot that's currently sitting in the overall leaderboard top. And currently standing in the America's Cup standings. Well, there's no point in me showing that because everybody is on 0 points. So, Overwatch and Yarham I think's backed off. So let's go on board with Overwatch right now in the Aston Martin. Exits the final sector, and as he heads towards turn 18 into turn 19, sweep the car to the right, just to use a little bit of curb, and he's the first man into the 126s. Now in the last game, a lot of the drivers were doing 127, so we're already faster than previous F1 games, even though it's only been on the game for like one time. So that is really impressive. Everyone is either in the 126s, 127s, or 128s. Just a few things to mention about certain cars. Obviously, Williams haven't had that much of a difference. I think the difference that they got is, even though it's not noticeable, it's addition of the flaps, the floor end plate, lower winglets on the rear wing, which I do think it's quite nice, and a shark fin, and then a carbon fin has been incorporated, which looks very cool as well. And there's some bits of the car that obviously moved around, which looks pretty cool. So I will draw your attention to certain parts of the car as well. And let's get your predictions going as to who you think will get pole. By the way, thank you to everybody. We did reach, even though we didn't have a proper race last week. Thanks to everybody who helped us reach 200 subscribers. Obviously, we couldn't do it without your support. So thank you so much for sharing the stream out with your friends and all that fun stuff. So exiting final corner, Yarham 127.3 does not improve. It would help if I would get the lap data so I can actually see the proper laps. Now, most people are going to be in the pit lane, except Cam, who's about to start his lap time. Now, I'm a bit louder than usual, so let me turn myself down just a little bit. There we go, because we don't want to go into the red very much. Now, of course, Mata, who is here tonight, encouraging in 10th spot. I can't go on board with him at the moment, but Mata is the one to keep an eye on tonight because he's obviously won at the last regional championship, the Formula Open, and he's got a point to prove. He's joined on points with Andreas, but of course, Andreas doesn't race in this league anymore. Casper very close to Glock as well, so we've got to keep an eye on Casper this race, as he wants to close to Glock's gap. Now, he's currently ahead of Glock in the championship. No, in the qualifying standing, sorry, by around about quite some margin, about 7 or 8 tenths. But I know he's looking to find every ounce of pace here tonight as well. And it is a technically demanding circuit, and we have seen quite a few retirements in the past in VSL around this track. There was a sprint race around here before, which I did enjoy commentating. It wasn't the best. So hopefully the racing standards will be a lot better, even though we only have 11 drivers. So parts of Vietnamese-like track bit of the track, it doesn't make sense, doesn't it? But hey-ho. Past the crest, and then heading towards the final DRS zone as he's about to begin his lap. He's probably going to be out of sync compared to everybody else, but we only got 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. So still plenty of things that can still go on here. And the driver's just warming up their tyres. Some people may be using the technique that I use as well, but I'm not going to tell you what technique it is. That's kind of a bit cheating, so don't you dare ask me about that. But some people still like to weed to get heat in them. And, Gav has retired. Now, let me check the track map. Has he been to anywhere, or is he retired in the pits? No, he's retired in the pits. So he's going to be starting from the back, which is, to be honest, is not a bad decision at all. It's a good decision, actually, because he possibly can avoid the carnage. Fingers crossed. So Lakitu, about to start his potential final run, but he will have time for 2 runs, unless he does a banker one now and then does a push lap in the final run. I think he lost it a bit there. I think Lakitu is going to back off here, potentially. Yeah, he is. As Speed Knighton has retired from the session. So he had a bit of a moment. Or did he? There's one. He's in the pits. So someone's retired in the pits. Okay. What's happened to Casper as well? A lot of bins. I hope we don't see that in the race, because otherwise we're going to be for a pretty long evening. But it is Overwatch that's currently set a very high benchmark for everybody in this league to follow. I think Cam and Glock could be the ones that get very close to their lap times, as the Williams driver is going to try and do all he can at least. Everyone will pretty much have one other go, except for Casper, because I think he's got some marble in his tyres, which is not ideal. Leroy, I believe, is on a run. So pretty much we're down to 8 people that still going to be setting runs. So watch Leroy through the final sector and see if his time's really good. And braking at the right time here is very difficult. You've got to get the brake bias absolutely right around here. Don't run it above 60. You will die. As Leroy up to the line. P7, 127.651. Pretty close between 2nd and 7th. Next will be the Mercedes of Glock, who's probably good. Yeah, he's backing off at this point. So it is Mata up next then. He's 3 seconds up. Of course he was, because he set his lap time on the medium compound, well, the inters. So of course he's going to be quicker as he exits the penultimate corner. No, I was going to say nicely done, but he kind of screwed it for himself. So he's going to go into the pit lane. Overwatch, is he go? Nope, he's backed off. Cam, he's 2 attempts up, so that will put him at a 1:26.9. So he will need to have a really great final sector. He's purple sector 2 at the moment. We'll see if anyone else is on a lap time. What about Johan? People finding that penultimate corner very tricky. So here he comes then, up to the line. Can he get pole? No, he can't. 1:27.3. Let's watch Cam then. He goes pole, so we found about 2 attempts in that final sector, which was brilliant for him. I don't think everyone's going to improve. No, he's not. And Leroy has backed off. So that is your qualifying session with Cam on pole on his return to VSL. Brilliant stuff. So it was a dry qualifying session. Will it stay like that for the race? We'll have to wait and see. We'll go through your qualifying results in just a moment, which won't take too long. So, if the game decides to let me go through the qualifying results, there we go. So, Cam is on provisional, well, it is on pole by 1/10 of a second over Overwatch in second. Finley's in third, Glock 4th, Johan 5th, Casper 6th, Leroy 7th, the Key to 8th, Speed 19 in 9th, Matter 10th, and Gav in 11th. And that is your order. We will go through standings as well, even though we went through standings, obviously, a bit ago. So, the overall standings, Glock is on 163, Casper's 140. Here we got Matter, Andreas, Enzo, Johan, Tony, Gareth, Nick, and then Leroy. So, realistically, only the top 4 can still realistically challenge for the title. And then we got the team standings here, look. So, Mercedes on 233, McLaren on 179. We got Ferrari on 150, Williams on 143. We got Red Bull on, I need to amend my sound as in just a second, so there we go, so it's not too loud. And then we got Alpine in 6th on 130, AlphaTauri in 7th on 101, Aston Martin in 8th on 55, Alfa Romeo in 9th on 50, and Haas in last on 35 points. But still time for plenty of teams to get back into gear and to really start to turn their seasons around, especially since there is a lower turnout tonight, so plenty of chances there. And if you finish, you get points, and if you get fastest lap and you finish, you get points as well. So the chance to gain points on your rivals is very key. So, and by the way, we do have the F2 Cup Series sign-ups that are open. There's going to be a league in the F2 car, so if you are interested, make sure you follow us at VSL_F1 on Twitter. And I do refuse to call it X because it's a very weird name for a platform. And I think the league begins in the middle of November, believe it or not. So, and I will be commentating on it, I believe, unless there's any changes for that. But make sure you join us then. And hopefully it will be in the F2 2023 cards, because that came in the latest sporting update quite recently, and there is plenty of things you can do with it. I haven't even tried it myself, really. So, obviously the drivers have got a 2-minute break just for them to catch a little bit of a breather, to really start to get their heads into gear. Luckily, I think no one is breaking the rules, which is great to see. As I get the map on my phone. Formation lap is on. And I thought for a sec we weren't going to get the map, the formation lap going. So luckily we got that going, because otherwise I'm going to cry. So we'll go through then your tyres, starting tyres. And we got possible strategies, which I will talk about in just a few moments' time. But let's look at tyres first, if it will let me get the right thing up. There we go. So usually the ones at the front start on the medium tyre. Now the top 5 have decided to go on to the hard compounded tyres. Now this is something I'm used to seeing top tier drivers in top tier leagues do. I was not expecting these guys to do it, and I like the change in strategy. This is good. This is good to see how the top 5 do. Now, we got Casper, Leroy and Lakita on the medias. We expect them to climb their way up the order. And we've got the likes of Speed, Knighton and Gaff on the softs. Now, bearing in mind, the crossover between the softs and the mediums is around about estimate 4 or 5 laps. So you're going to be wanting to get past people very quickly, because otherwise it will remain meaningless. But maybe Pete and Gaff are thinking, right, there could be safety cars, which I think personally there's a 100% chance of a safety car in Tier 1 around Miami, because it's happened before. So, we are about to get going then. For those of you who just joined us, welcome along to VSL F1 Season 11, round number 12. Well, technically, round number 11, as Brazil did not happen, but there could be a rerun coming. So, watch this space. Really do watch this space, as all the drivers, as Cam has been a naughty boy, and he's got, yeah, he got disqualified, which is not good. But the 5 red lights coming on as the timing tower is playing havoc with me. But yes, 5 red lights are on. Along Old Bullies, go, go, go. Finley gets a really good start. Cam has been caught off guard here as they head towards turn number 1. Overwatch to the right-hand side as well. There's a bit of end plate damage from one of the cars. I think that was one of the McLarens. I think that was Casper. Has dropped down a few places, which is not ideal. But he's fighting with Lakitu to the out inside of turn number 4 and 5. I can't remember what turn number it is, to be honest, but this is quite tricky to go around the outside for. But yes, I think I can tell that Casper was the one to have picked damage there, and a little bit of a lock-ups from the driver, so maybe their brake bias is not the best right now. So the ones on the hard tyres keep in position, but Glock is very keen to get past Overwatch. Overwatch got a good start, but didn't really come out in front the way we would have hoped. Has Glock to the right-hand side. And can he get the move done, which it looks like he does. So, brilliant job for him as I try and get the map to a much better size. There we go, so I can see all the corner numbers. But the hards only use about 4% of wear per lap compared to obviously the softs 5 or 6%. As we can see, one of the Mercedes going side by side. That is with Leroy, heading towards turn number 17. And Lakitu almost going deep there. A few drivers being caught off guard there. Heading towards turn 19 now. The start finish straight. And Lakitu stays ahead. Gav gets past Casper. I wonder if Casper is going to go into the pit lane. Yes, he is going to dive it into the pit lane to get his front wing changed. So he's going on to some hards as well, which should last till around about, if I've done my maths correctly, it will be around about, I'm just trying to think, lap 20, I would say. As we can see a Ferrari going side by side with Johan, and that is heading towards the middle of turn 10, and then heading towards turn 11 now. Ferrari keeping their composure as Glock gets past Overwatch. Glock up into second. And that was the move that was crucial at this stage. And he's done it. So great stuff from Glock. Now he's going to challenge Cam for the lead. And if Glock wants to gain crucial points in this championship, he really has to think deep here as to how he's going to do it. DRS will be enabled next lap. And Glock almost had a thought about it there, didn't he? But, oh, look at this. Finley's going to have a think about it. To the left-hand side, he goes in towards turn 17 and 18. Long swooping right-hander. Oh, my goodness. The Aston Martin swooped round. And I almost said racing points there. A lot of drivers trading up fastest laps, which is great to see. But we do know how quickly these tyres can go off. And the amount of recharge you have around the shot in terms of ERS is not much. So you don't really want to use your ERS too much around it. You've got to find the right balance. And you don't want to use your ERS in the crest. Because I found that, and in practice, I've fortunately hit a wall. So, DRS enabled then. Who's going to use it? Let's watch Glock to the left. We do know how ERS is quite powerful around it. So Glock up into the race lead. But for how much longer? Because he does have Cam and Overwatch chasing him down. So I'm really excited to see how that developed over the course of the race. And it is a Mercedes-powered car, 1, 2, 3, with a Ferrari in P4. Will anyone use the DRS on the back straight? We almost saw the Williams doing so. But he was thinking like, no, I think I should stay behind for a little bit. Now, there are certain corners around the track which doesn't feel that existent around here as well, especially turns 9 and 10 of DRS. They call it turns in the middle of the DRS straight a corner, which is quite weird as we see side-by-side action. This is Johan and Finley. Johan trying to get past Finley to the inside. There we go. Nicely does it. As Johan is now up into 4th spot, using as much on the track as he can. Plenty of chances for a lot of drivers to gain comebacks in this race if they've had a poor start. Luckily, no threat of rain for the time being, as Mark usually likes to say. And the DRS train goes from P1 all the way to P10. So, if one driver makes a small mistake, then that's it. The soft runners, I think, will start to fall off soon. So if Pete doesn't get a move on, there's potentially going to be 2 DRS trains. Let's look at his ERS. Oh, no, scrap that. We got a battle for the lead again. Cam retakes the lead of the Miami Grand Prix. Now, why did I say... I did say something else earlier, and I don't know what I did. So I do apologise if I said the wrong Grand Prix when I said, oh, he's taking the lead. So, they now reach the operating window, the hards, for them to be actually raceable. But the top 5 are proving that they are raceable anyway. We know Cam and Glock are very experienced racers. And we know with Cam, he's a title holder now in another league. As, oh, what's happened to Lakito? Lakito has had a bit of a boo-boo. So, and that's allowed Gareth to go to 9th place. No damage from Lakitu, it looks like. No. Okay, that's a relief. I was a bit worried that there was going to be damage there, but there wasn't. No safety car, luckily. And we got both the Alpines running side by side as well. Leroy was trying to get a long way around there. It did work. Leroy up into 8th, and we got both of the Red Bulls fighting as well. And you can see Speed Knighton has already lost about 1 or 2 seconds this lap just by being on the soft tyres. The degrading on those soft tyres is huge. The medium starts become the good tyre after 5 laps, which is at this point now. So that's why Mata is ahead of Pete for now, as Cam retakes the lead from Glock again. So Glock and Cam are trading places for this lead, and also who's trading places, Overwatch and Yarham to the inside. We could almost see like a three-way battle, as I almost spilt my drink. We do not want to be in a situation where we do that, sunshine. And it'll be interesting to see a few comments in the chat on who you think is going to win this race. And you can see, obviously, the Skylift as well. What would you do if you were in real life around Miami? Now, there was a harbour pool on this game that looks real, but it is not real. As Glock gets the lead again, this is definitely a powerful DRS zone. I think it should be nerfed in real life, personally, and I think it should be nerfed in game. But that's my own personal opinion. You're probably going to be roasting me in the comments saying, Jess, why on earth did you say that? But that is the truth. That is the truth, unfortunately. So, Finley then. Gonna try and get past Overwatch. Doesn't look like Cam's gonna get past Glock at the moment, but ooh, Finley with that straight line speed.com was almost gonna get past Cam. But obviously he had to go on the oh, what happened there? So he went a bit too deep, so both Overwatch and Yarhammer got past him. Mata has closed in as well. So Overwatch and safety car. What's caused that safety car? No one's got damage. What? Ah, Lakitu. I think Lakitu's got damage. That's probably why. We'll see if he changes his front wing. Yeah, he's got front wing damage. So yes, the safety car has been deployed because of that. No retirement so far though. So that is always a bonus for people that are still in this race. So we got to think about when will these drivers would like to pit. If you're on the soft tyres, this is golden because you can get one of your stops out of the way. Potentially it can be a one stop for these drivers, but I would not recommend doing a one stop around Miami. It just doesn't work in my opinion. But you can do it. I think it was in a few laps time you would potentially do it. So they've got to use their tyre management strategies. Now, I would potentially go on a set of hards if you're on the mediums as well, just to get maybe your one stop out the way, which some of the drivers are doing. So we've got Cam, Yarham, and Finley and Mata coming in. Mata's the only one on the mediums coming in. Now, I'm a bit surprised as to why some people on the hards is coming in. Maybe they're wanting to go on a two-stop and then go on the mediums. So maybe that probably suggests that it is a two-stop. And we are starting to see different strategies coming through. Now, Leroy and Casper have gone for something which I was not expecting for them to at all. Those two have gone for the soft compound tyres. And thank you, CBDBD, for dropping a like on this video. I do appreciate it. We are starting to get more viewers on this stream, so thank you very much. We are a PS league. We don't usually get these low numbers. Hopefully next week will be a lot better. But we stream on Wednesday nights at 8 PM on PlayStation. So, and we are doing an F2 series with F2 cars in middle of November as well. And sign-ups are still open for that. And if you are interested, please follow at VSL_F1. Sign-up information is on there. You look at the tweet that was posted a couple of days ago where it says, let me go on board whilst I do this. It says, attention PSF1 drivers. Interested in racing the 2023 F2 cars? We have a 6-race calendar starting November 15th. So that is that one. Plus, we're going to be having our own rally league. So I believe sign-ups are open for that already. That will be on the new WRC game by EA and Co-Masters. So you can go on and follow VSL_rally. And again, find the tweet that was posted October 16th that says sign-ups are now open. And then click the form. So, and let me just see what it says. So, you've got to obviously join your Discord. Join the Discord, and then once you've done that, complete the form. And then it will ask you for your EA ID, your PlayStation, your platform, and the rules and regs, and then if you read them and stuff like that. I don't know what's on the rest of the form. I'm not going to fill it out because obviously I don't know. Now, this part of the track, I think they made the harbour less real now, which is a bit of a boo-boo. Because I liked it when it was pretending to be real, really, on the last game. Looked pretty swish, if you ask me. So that was a few plugs about the certain things that VSL has been getting up to. Of course, after this one, we'll have 2 more rounds left. I believe we are rerunning Brazil. But there are debates on whether it's going to be another 100% race. But it might be more than likely going to be a 50% race. Because if I have to commentate on another 100% race, I will die. And knowing our luck, there will probably be another PSN outage. And we do not want that to happen. No, 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 no. So, everyone has caught up to the safety car. So, safety car should be in this lap. So, Glock now is going to be the Burt Mylander in this situation. So, how is he going to control the field with him being the only driver yet to box? Everyone else has boxed. I think Locke is thinking there could be more safety cars on the horizon. And maybe he wants to turn it into a one-stop race. If there's another safety car, he's right back in this. He's allowed to go when he wants, but as soon as he puts the hammer down, he can't slow down. That's it. So, heading towards turn number 1. Cam to the inside almost as he brakes late. But Glock pulls off enough of a gap to stay ahead, but for how much longer? Cam to the right-hand side, Glock clubbers to the left as we head towards turn number 4, and then heading towards the right-hander of turn number 5, heading through 6, a short kink to the right, and then using a bit of that curve to get a good entry speed. And whilst I was on board with him, Finley is now up into 2nd place. So those mediums are definitely firing up like hotcakes. And we are seeing Casper that got past Akita. Yarham hanging about with Glut. I wonder if Glut's got damage, or I wonder if he's just struggling on those hard tyres to really get them up to temperature. Maybe he shouldn't have stayed out. Maybe he should appear like everybody else. Because I do predict everybody's going to be on the 2-stop anyway. Everyone's going to be on the 2-stop. And so So unless we get another safety car, he's pretty much screwed at this point. He's going to lose so much time. Leroy and Gav fighting once again for P7. No DRS activated yet, of course, so they got to rely on the slipstream. So I wonder if there's going to be any team orders there. Cam sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:30.502. Don't forget Leroy and Casper pitted during the safety car on to a set of the soft compounder tyres. As Matt to the inside. I didn't see what that was. As the K2 is out and we've got another safety car. So our second safety car, and I did predict that there was going to be another one, and I was right. So Glock really has to pit this lap. I mean it. He really has to pit this lap. Set of mediums, and then stretch out for a set of softs at the end afterwards. So then you'll be on the same strategy pretty much as everybody else. If you say out, it will be a recipe for failure, as unfortunately Lakiti leaves the session, and it does mark our first retirement. We are down to 10 drivers. Hopefully we won't get any more retirements, but for some drivers, if you finish, you're going to get some decent points. And there's certain drivers that have yet to get on the ground for this season. So we got a Williams in P1, a Ferrari in P2, a Williams in P3, a Red Bull in P4, a Mercedes P5, a Red Bull P6, 2 Alpines in 7th and 8th, Casper in 9th with the McLaren, and then Aston Martin in 10th. So, is Glock going to come in? Yes, he does. So he is following my responses, unless he's not watching the stream. I do know some people do listen to the stream whilst they race, which I don't get how it always distracts me when I do that. So, I never do it. I just never do it, personally. But, yes. We are about to pretty much see more people think about what they're going to do next. Because obviously they can't pit yet because it's too early. They have to probably stretch it out for even longer. But if we get a safety car again, maybe lap 15, 16, then maybe if they have a spare set of mediums left, they can go on to them. Unless they've already started on mediums. If they started on mediums, they are pretty much screwed. And you don't want to be in a screwed state. You don't. You really don't. And it's still quite a nice day in Miami. Nice and sunny. And yeah, it's pretty good. Really good. And it would help. I think I'm just wondering, I'm obviously logged on to the wrong account on Adobe, which is annoying. Oh no, I'm not. That's alright. That's good. That is good. I just realised I have to cancel a free trial. That's probably why. So, Finley is leading. How's he leading? I think he must have got it, obviously, when Glock pitted. But the Williams do seem to be struggling more than a Ferrari in certain scenarios. So, let us know who you think is going to be winning this race. Pretty much almost all the halfway stages here as well. But still, anything can happen. And you just really got to think about that. And don't forget, if you are liking the action, you can, of course, drop us a like on this video. We did reach 200 subscribers quite recently, and I would just like to say thank you so much for all your support so far with VSL. Much appreciated. Maybe we can get 300 potentially as well. That could be something very important. But yes, we are about to get the racing underway. It's Casper, I believe, pitted just a moment ago as well. So he will be getting those tyres until the end of the race. Which he can do it. He can do it, potentially. And I thought the safety car was going to come in this lap. Doesn't look like it, does it? Unless the safety car is quite late. Which... Oh, it is late. Interesting, it's just coming into the pits. So, that is intriguing. So, Finley didn't have a long time to think about it. There we go. So, Finley is back on the way. And he hasn't had the best restart in the world because he didn't have a long time to think about it. Someone who's had a good restart is the likes of Cam. And Leroy is going to have a tough time because he's on the soft compound tyres. But there's quite a few drivers that we will be expecting to potentially pit again. And using that right-hand curb effectively there as well as Yarham trying to go for the move on Cam. There we go. Cam gets past Yarham, so Yarham is just like a sitting duck for this one, but they're on the same side as well. They are even on pace at times in some tracks. And I do remember a few seasons ago for Yarham, Yarham used to have the really bad luck. And I mean bad luck. And I have to say Yarham is faring a bit better. He's in 6th overall, which is very impressive in the standings. He's on 78 points, which is probably better than what he would imagine. But obviously he was, when I was speaking to him earlier on in the season, he was trying to aim for a top 3 finish. But it can still be possible. So Peter's been passed by Glock, and Pete's in the pits. So is it a change of front wing, or is it a undercut strategy? Could we see our first undercut strategy of the day then? Nope, it is a front wing change. And he's going to go on to, come on game. Just show the tyres, please. There we go. He's on the mediums then, till the end it should be. But again, it's going to be a bit of a push, but he can do it. So Finley leads by 0.6 of a second. Casper, meanwhile, on the other hand, is making up places. That was almost close to a lot of contact there. Yellow flag. That is Overwatch. And Overwatch has had a bit of a moment. You don't want to be hitting the wall, my friend, because that could send you into Narnia and could send you out of the race. And if you do call the safety car on purpose, then you could be in a lot of trouble. We don't want Crashgate to happen, let's just say that. But looks like he's okay there. So, any close battles that we are going to watching? So Casper trying to get past Leroy on the 7 lap offside, which shouldn't be too difficult because of the crossover point that these tyres are in. So there we go. Through goes Casper, up into 6th. And DRS is enabled. It's been a long time since we saw that. So there we go. But anyway, Yarham is gone into the pits then for a change of tyres. And is it a change of front wing? No, it's not. It's a change in strategy. And he's going to go on to, most likely, the hards that he started the race on. Ooh, I doubt that's going to get to the end, Sunshine, as Overwatch is out the race. Now he's retiring the pit lane, so luckily no safety car. Thank goodness. I was panicking that there was going to be another safety car, but luckily there wasn't. And he did select wet, so that was probably an indication that, yeah, he was going to retire there, which was a bit of a shame because his pace was looking very, very good. And it's a shame to see drivers giving up like that. I only give up when I crash, and don't ask me about my Jedi race yesterday. I only lasted like 3 laps. Probably the earliest retirement I've ever had in a league race was lap 3. So there we go. That is, I broke my own record yesterday. I wasn't very happy, heat at the moment, but I'm over it now. So lap 17 of 29 then. They're just being a bit quiet at the moment. Casper's just pumping in the laps. So we'll watch out for Casper towards the end of this race. He's on fresher tyres as well. Keep an eye on Glock too. Now Casper really needs to eat into Glock's gap, because otherwise maybe next week he could win the title. But we may have an indication that Brazil might be rerun. You can keep an eye on VSL's Twitter for more information about that. Hopefully we'll get a bit more of a turnout for that as well. As we are starting to see a yellow flag once again, as Pete. No, that sun is, by the way, is very blinding through there. I don't know how the drivers can actually see that, but the drivers can see that anyway. But he's keeping his car in check, and I do know if you spin around Miami, it's hard to recover really at times, unless you're on fresh tyres, and he was on fresh tyres, 2 laps. So maybe it just took a while for him to get it up to temperature. Well, I think it's up to temperature now, but a little bit too hot. So I thought Casper was going to go for the move there, but I think Mata may have better straight line speed through that straight. As I take another sip of my drink, so I'm quite thirsty at the moment, so apologies. As Casper trying to go for the move on Mata to turn number 1. Ooh, I think he's done it. Yes, he has. On the fresher tyres as well, which does help. And the delta, by the way, there's one thing I forgot to talk about, was the delta. 0.4 of a second separating soft and mediums, and about 4/10 separating between soft, mediums and hards. 0.8 separating between softs and hards. So the mediums are 4/10 quicker if you're on fresh mediums. Obviously, the delta starts to deteriorate now and again as Pete gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And he's going to go on softs, it looks like. Yeah, soft. No, hards. I'm guessing he has no fresh softs left, which probably explains it. There we go. Oh, yeah, because he started on soft, didn't he? So we had to go on a different... But he's already used... I don't know, confusing. But I'm guessing, obviously, he had no other new tyres apart from hards, so we had to go on them. Hards, I feel, around here, personally, are not very nice. But, again, it does come with a bit of practice at times. So maybe I would need to practice more, and then I'll become better on the hard compounded tyres. So... You can see Cam right on at the back of Finley then as he challenges for the lead once more. Both on the same mediums. We've got Cam to the right-hand side. He's got the right-hand side completely nailed. And he leads on lap 19 to 29. We've got 11 laps to go. Finley goes very, very deep. That's going to invite Glock to join this party as well. But again, he can't get past as well through the left-hander now. Keep going to the left. And then move to the right as you get a bit of a tow from Finley because Glock in that Mercedes. Mercedes in real life have done well in Miami in the past with George Russell as Glock. Ooh, is he going to get past 2 cars? Surely not. Oh! How How did they not hit the wall? Great stuff. But you do not want to go three wide through there. Finlay, by the way, has been left for dust. He started his lap in the lead, and now he's dropped into 4th place. So I feel kind of bad for him, but he did get a bit squirmy. So that's probably why the top 3 overtook him. But he can fight back here. He's got the DRS. So he's going to fight back on Casper. He's got to brake at the right time now. You don't want to brake too late because problems happen. And it looks like Philly's going to go into the pit. So I wonder if he's got some hidden damage that we do not know about. So Finley comes in. We will start to see the softs start to degrade in about 4 laps time. Then the mediums start to degrade at 4 laps time. So maybe in that amount of time, maybe the softs could be the best option, or maybe they're praying for a 3rd safety car. Please don't be a 3rd safety car. You know, that will be crazy if that happens. And we're starting to see clouds forming. Yellow flag. Oh, VSC. As Glock overtakes Cam. I think I'm almost certain I was before VSC, but I might be wrong. So we've got a few offs. Obviously, Pete's down in 9th. Johan is down in 8th. Everyone else, some people are pretty much scattered, but they are going to get some decent points anyway. They do, however, have to keep to Delta. So that's going to be interesting. And look at how close Cam is to Glock there. And it is getting quite overcast. I wonder, I haven't even checked the Discord yet, but will we see a threat of rain? I don't know at this point. But people are taking the opportunity to pit and get fresh tyres on. So Casper still leads, but Glock, Karen and Matta pit. Will Gareth do the same and come in? Yes, no brainer. Finley's got to do the same. He's going to hope that the VSC does not come in now. And Finley stays out. Okay. So does Leroy. Of course, he's been on those tyres for only 3 laps, so he can stay out. This could be a strategic masterclass for Leroy. Johan, I think he'll come in. Oh, no. Matta's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC, and he was in 4th as well. And the VSC came at a really bad time for Johan. That is gutting for Johan. But he had to change his front wing anyway, so he was going to do that. But so it is Casper who leads by 10 seconds. But we do know how fresh softs work. Will he be able to close up 10 seconds to Casper by the end of lap 29? Casper's got to work his socks off. Matter on softs, but he's probably his work's going to be meaningless. So he's got a drive-through penalty. Finley on fresh mediums. Can he make up something in this race? Leroy as well. I was expecting Leroy to gain a few places higher, but obviously due to the massive gap that we've got, that is probably why. So the visibility getting a bit troublesome. I would like your opinions in the chat, actually. Do you think we will get rain? I think not. We could, but there might be a possibility that it won't be enough for Inters. So I just don't think. Make up your mind, Jess. No, there's not going to be rain. And if there's rain, I'm probably going to eat my hat. So Matta is served its drive-through and comes out in 6th. So due to the gaps, he's only lost 2 places. So, but it's pretty much a what could have been situation for Matta, as I think think the gap's starting to close a little bit more on Glock and Casper now. 7.6. It was 10 seconds a few moments ago. Now it's 7.6. So Glock means business. Let's look at Glock's ERS. He's not using that much at all. And what about Casper's ERS? Casper's ERS, well, he's using it a lot to try and stay ahead for now. But the gap's now 6.7. It's probably inevitable that the likes of Glock and Cam are potentially going to close up, potentially. As well, on lap 23 of 29 now. And Glock says the fastest lap of this race, if that isn't a wake-up call, then to be honest, I do not know what is. So, you can also let us know in chat who you think your driver of the day is. I know we don't put a poll for that. However, you know, 5.3, it is coming down like a man. So I think, to be honest, guys, I think it's going to be inevitable at this point. And that is a gamble. Sometimes you got to have gambles, fair enough. Like, I do gambles in league racing. 9 times out of 10, my gambles don't pay off. But there's this one time where I get the gamble completely right. I just have the biggest smile on my face. But unfortunately, it's not going to work out here. It is going to work for Glock, though. But he's got to face one threat first. And if these two keep squabbling, Casper can still win this. So Cam overtakes Glock. So this could be a racing versus ping pong scenario as we reach lap 24 of 29. We could see a three-way fight for the lead again. Now that will be very, very exciting. And I think, obviously, the sun is starting to come out just a little bit more now. So the threat of rain that we probably had for this race is not going to happen. Thank you to whoever just subbed, by the way. We're now on 201 subscribers. Now, plenty of drama could still happen, as Cam's eating a lot of that apex there. I think these two can't keep squabbling like this. They've got to find a way to work together to win this race. So they've got to close on Casper first, and that's when they start to fight. And I think, so Glock, if I was Glock, don't get past Cam yet. Just use Cam as a buffer. Just get the slipstream from Cam and do that. Now that's a potential on what they're going to do. That's what I would do as well. But sometimes I advise people, oh, you should do this, but I don't end up doing the same thing. I wonder any of you guys in chat also suffer the same predicament as well. So just a quick reminder, Cam and Glock now are... I'll just let me move my chair forward. There we go. So, Cam has been on those tyres 4 laps. Same with Glock and Finley. Casper's been on them for 12 laps. Glock then... It's right on the back of Cam. Glock has got really a very good backseat for this. Now, I'm going to get telemetry up because I have no COCOM, so I can see how much ERS people are using. So, Glock has got 29%, Cam has got 24. Casper has got 22. So all roughly about the same. So Cam is going to go for his first attack on the RT Casper to the left-hand side. Even before the braking zone, he's going to look to go ahead. And he does. Glock does exactly the same. And what Glock did was perfect. Glock followed Cam's line, worked together, and now they're both ahead of Casper. Now these two can fight for the race victory. But let's hope they don't get into a tangle and don't get into a contact, because if that happens, then Casper could win this race. But yes, that is perfect. So they must have listened to me, surely. If not, they are absolute mind readers. Absolute mind readers. So Casper leads for now. We know that Glock has got some pace up his sleeve. And the benefit of Glock is, compared to Cam, Glock has DRS, Cam does not. So I think, obviously, Cam must be feeling a bit more worried compared to as Glock does get past. But Cam could go to the right here. No, he does not go to the right-hand side. He thought about it just for a moment. Casper's still in that shot. He is increasing the gap to Finley, though, which is, I have to say, quite impressive. He's just going to hope that these two start to squabble, which I hope they don't, because we want a race on our hands. So, out of Glock, Cam, or Casper, who do you think is going to win this one, guys? Because to be honest, I don't know. Because they're both evenly matched. We've got 3 laps to go. This is kind of realistically like a sprint race in itself. Because both of them are on the same tyres. Finley, unfortunately, is unable to catch up to them. I think it will be a bit too little too late. Because I think Casper was pushing on the last lap. And Finley's closing in again. But I think if we had a few more laps, Finley would have probably have done it. But we'll see. Anything could happen still in these last 3 laps. Well, it's 2.5 laps now, but there we go. So here we go. There goes Cam. Is he going to think about going left or right? He doesn't go anyway. Oh, he shuts the door. So Glock doing very well to defend from Cam there, as Speed Knighton is going into the pits, going with past his lap most likely. Well, you're going to get the same points as 8th anyway if you pit, so why not? And Yarham's doing the same. So Yarham is like, no, you're not having my fastest lap. No, 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 I'm coming in, my friend. And I don't know why I made that impression, but it's gonna be a battle between those two, because we already have 9 drivers. Because don't forget, we only had 11 drivers in the lobby, and we've had 2 retirements. So there we go. Lap 28 of 29 then. Glock versus Cam, and he's gonna come out in traffic. Lapped car is gonna distract their braking zones, because they do have braking references. It's just not gonna help them at all. Luckily, one of the cars moved out the way. That is Yarham. Those were the ones who pitted the fastest lap, by the way. And if I were the lapped cars, you would have to move out the way, because as a... okay. I think... It's not going to get DRS here from a lapped car. Yes, he is. So that's going to keep Cam behind. Cam's got a ghost car in front of him, which is not helping him with his lines at all. So there's 2 cars trying to get the fastest lap, and then there's 2 cars fighting for the win. Casper gets a 3-second time penalty, so Casper's chance of a race win is pretty much gone now. But for these 2, it can be anyone's game. And we would like to thank you. Thank you. So anyway, On lap 29, final lap of this race. This could be Cam's best opportunity to win this one. And I think Johan doesn't know this. Johan is helping Glock gain some DRS. So that's going to hinder Cam in the long run. But obviously Cam is reserve. Johan's full time. So to be honest, Johan doesn't care at this point. Going for the long left-hander. Nicely line taken from Glock there. He's pulling away from Cam already. So maybe it has something with his ERS and tyres that are just built differently compared to Cam's. You can see that they're both running out of battery, but both of them have DRS. They're going to be in that DRS train. I'm surprised that the Williams has not been given a penalty in game. Well, Johan has not been given a penalty in game for being a lap down. But he's got a 3-second time penalty anyway. So, he has been told to move out of the way, which he does. Glock does still get DRS though. They're literally pretty much on 0% battery, so unless one driver makes a mistake, it is going to be a victory that he hasn't had a victory in a while, but this is important for him in terms of his championship. Glock wins in Miami. Cam comes across the line in second, and Casper will get on the podium. Glock does extend his lead to Casper in the championship, the overall championship. And Glock also leads the America's Cup now. Finley in fourth, Mata in fifth. And we'll see who gets the fastest lap out of Pete Knighton and Johan. Well, it won't be Johan, he's left the session. But Garrett's going to come across the line in seventh. So now we're just waiting for Pete to see if he can get fastest lap of this race. But what a drive from Glock. So where did he start actually? So Glock started 3 places below where he finished. Same with Casper. Matters gained 5 places. But I think with that drive-through, without that drive-through, I think he would have got on the podium anyway. But still decent points, which could help him in a way in getting some decent position in the championship. So I don't think Pete's going to get fastest lap here unless he's got it already. Who's got it? Let me have a look. Fastest lap belongs to Glock at the moment, 129.4. So unless Pete can get a 129.4, no, he does a 130.19. So no, that's not. He doesn't get fastest lap, but nice try though. Good try. Who gets driver of the day? Glock. Which I have to agree, Glock has driven absolutely amazingly today. So it is great to see. So we'll look at your podium. So we've got a Mercedes-powered car. All 3 of them on the podium. We've got a Mercedes, a Williams, and a McLaren. So there we go. So what will that total go to now? It'll be... I don't even know at this point. I will need to check how many points he was on. And... So Glock's on 163. I thought he was on 160, but my bad. So it's a 23-point gap. So it will increase by just a teeny bit. So, Glock, from 4th to 2nd, gets fastest up as well, some extra points there. So I think the gap's going to increase even more there. Cam in 2nd, Casper 3rd, Finley 4th, Mata 5th, Leroy in 6th, Gareth 7th. Pete did get, I think, 129.7, so he was about 3 tenths slower than Glock's fastest lap. Johan 9th, and then we got Overwatch and Lakito, your retirements. So, that stream didn't go as badly as I thought, so I'd just like to say thank you to everybody that stuck around with us tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we have a better turnout next week. I won't be here though, unfortunately. Our next kind of like meet-up with my geographically dispersed team is next week. Next Wednesday and Thursday, so Yeah, I'm not going to be here, unfortunately. But you'll have my code fully, or they'll try and get someone in anyway, fingers crossed, but I will remind them that I'm not going to be here. But the next track will be, if I get the calendar out, will be Canada. I'm missing Canada, that's annoying. But we'll be back for the final round, the final round on the calendar, at least Las Vegas. But like I was saying, they could run Brazil as well. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Jessica Ball. Have a good evening. We will see you, well, VSL will see you next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. But until then, stay safe and bye-bye.